but go learn it. Go spend some time with some operators that are doing a good job, because that will teach you more than anything you find on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram, even this podcast. Like, yeah, I'm giving you this information, but I'm not in the kitchen. I'm in my house. But if you're next to me in the store, you're gonna learn a lot, because you're gonna see things and you're gonna ask questions, and it's gonna be more interactive. And get into it. Pizza King Podcast, how we'll read back on the mic with you. It has been far too long since I have recorded a podcast, but I'm back, and I'm looking forward to, creating some good content, talking more about pizza, engaging with more folks in the community, bringing people on the show, and really making this is something that is part of my, my everyday routine going forward. So, thanks to those who have stuck with me. Thanks to anybody who was engaged and reached out and, asked questions and things like that. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I was on the phone yesterday. I talked to a good friend of mine who was looking to make an investment. He's at a point where he's been working at his job for a while, and he's thinking, all right, it's time for me to figure out what I'm going to do for me and for my family, for my legacy. And he called me and he said, hey, I've been thinking about making an investment. I know that you've been in the pizza game for a while, and he's a good friend of mine. So he's been around me, and he's been around, JR for, since before we were in the pizza business. So he has seen the entire journey. So he understands full well what we do and what we've done. And he was, with respect, he goes, man, I see y'all killing the game. And, I'm just thinking maybe I need to be a part of that. Maybe that's something that I need to look into. And, anybody who's talked to me about this knows that my advice, respectfully, is if you're looking for an investment, don't do this. Don't go do something that will allow you to have time to enjoy the fruits of your labor and enjoy your investment. This business, yes, it can be, profitable and lucrative, and, help you to build that, that generational, product or business or whatever your goals are, whatever you're looking to get into. Yes, absolutely. Your business can do that, and especially a business like this. However, it takes a significant amount of time to build a pizzeria up to profitability. So I'm going to talk about, that led us to what brought me here today and wanting to record and talk through what I would do if I were starting a pizzeria, knowing what I know now. How would I go about that process? But before we get into it, I just want to, just catch up with y'all. It's been a little while. I want to take the opportunity while I have the microphone live to say that I had such a good time at Pizza Tomorrow Summit in Orlando. We had an opportunity to speak and share my thoughts on team building and leadership development. Absolutely just, great session. I had good questions, good feedback from that. And, the show in general was a lot of fun. We were, I was able to just, see a lot of vendors, see a lot of products. I was able to record a podcast with Bruce at Smart Pizza Marketing. That was dope. So, I just wanted to just thank Glenn and the team over there. It was a great idea for them to partner with Florida Restaurant Lodging this year, because the show felt like a very big and professional, well put on. It was great. They put on a really good show. The competitions, all that stuff was great. So I only got to attend one day. So next year I'm looking forward to the 2-day experience, but I'm also looking forward to going out to LA for the Western food show. So that's going to be great in August next year. So anybody out there that is planning on attending the West Coast show, please hit me up, because I'm looking forward to meeting more people. That's one thing that I regret, was that I didn't take the time. I came in and I was focused on really preparing for my talk on Education Alley. So I didn't get a chance to just go, shake a lot of hands and meet some of the folks that were there. So I'm looking forward to meeting more people next year. Just engaging with more operators out there, because we got some really dope people in the pizza community, and I just want to say what's up. So if you were there and we didn't get a chance to meet, holler at me, just say what's up, and we'll plan to do something next time we're in the same place, whether it's Pizza Summit, whether it's Expo or Western Food Show. I'm gonna be at a lot of those. So definitely reach out to me. The one I haven't done the East Coast Expo. Maybe I'll figure out a way to try to do that next year. So yeah, I want to meet more folks in the game and, learn from you and, talk to you. And even if it means we find a way to do something like this where we can get together and just have a discussion here on the pod about what you've been doing. So please holler at me. We'll definitely do that. All right. But you came here for a reason. Wasn't to hear me talk about how much of a pizza fanboy I am and how I want to meet all the top pizza guys in the game. So, and girls, not just guys. There's so many dope operators. But you came to hear me talk about what I would do if I were starting another pizzeria. If I had the knowledge that I have now, which I do, but I didn't have the experience, what would I do? And I think there's so many factors that play into building a business, starting a business, growing a business. And it starts from where your goals are and what the end game, looks like for you. So I would tell you before the first step, before anything else, is to, and this is me talking about what I would be doing, but I guess I'm talking at you. But what I would do is I would spend a good bit of time in the planning phase, meaning I would spend a lot of time planning and researching menu offerings, location, site selection, vendors, equipment dealers, what the labor pool looks like. I would spend as much time as I could putting the business together on paper. Now, I get it. Business on paper doesn't mean a whole lot, because once you open the door, so all plans go out the window sometimes. But it helps you get a clear understanding of what you're getting into, and whether or not it's something that is affordable, sustainable, and scalable. So I would spend a good bit of time in the planning phase. The second thing I would do, and we'll just go down the list, and if you know me, I wrote my notes down. So determining what my goals are, spending a good bit of time in the planning phase. But I would then, hold on, let me get to where my notes were. Okay, here we go. I was on the wrong page looking at something else, but I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, because I talked to somebody that I'm working with currently about, what he would do differently, knowing what he knows now. So I got three quick, easy little tips to tell you where I would be focused when building a new pizzeria. First one, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Meaning keep your menu planning, keep it simple. Keep your offerings and your selections start simple. And if you want to start to add things and scale from there, I would do it later, but I would start with simplicity and scale from that. A coach that I work with in Atlanta on the coaching and consulting side, he gave us some great advice, and he said simplicity scales, complexity doesn't. And that was, it was a very simple but powerful statement, meaning, the more complex you make things, the harder it is for you to repeat those actions, those processes across, multiple weeks, months, years, generations, the more complex it is, the harder it is to replicate that. So keeping it simple definitely helps. I can tell you from experience, it must have been maybe 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, but we took a hard cut to our menu. We had, and we still, my menu, I still got a lot of items on my menu, probably 40 plus items on the menu. But we were up to so many items that it was actually becoming difficult to find people that could execute the menu. And then you look at the sales of the the product mix. We weren't even selling it. We just had to look at our business, look at what we were selling, and make a hard choice to say, look, this sandwich is my favorite sandwich, but we never sell it. It doesn't need to be on our menu. And we cut, I'm trying to think, we must have cut a dozen or more items off the menu. And most of that came from the grill side. And our shop is set up with two sides, pizza side, grill side. So pizzas, calzones, strombolis, anything that goes in the oven kind of goes to pizza side. And then we have the grill side, which is cheesesteaks, chicken wings, the fryer and the grill stuff, salads, sandwiches. And that's where most of the complexity was on our menu. And we were going through this period of, hiring and growing. And when we cut those items out, we found that it became a whole lot easier for folks to execute the menu, which opened up the opportunity for the position to more people, because it wasn't just this complex thing for them to come in and have to operate every day. Because, when it's hard, you want to do it well, you want to do it consistently, you need to make sure that you got people that can do it. So I would tell you, keep it simple from the beginning, scale as you need to, the menu items, or, add complexity as you need to. But, at the end of the day, it's the other hard truth we had to face. And I'm guilty of this myself because I like to be creative. I love making pizza. But all of those pizzas that we're creating, all those things, and these specialty pies and all that stuff, that's all great. But our customers aren't as adventurous as we are. They're not even as adventurous as they think they are, because at the end of the day, what we sell, 60 to 65% of the time, cheese and pepperoni. We got, we have all the fancy, the meat lasagna pizza and the everything bagel pie and chicken parm and all these fun items that we make, and they are a lot of fun and they taste great and they look great on the pictures and the videos. People order cheese and pepperoni pizza. That's what it is, and that's okay. So I only say that to tell you, keep it simple. Make sure you got the core offerings. And then as you grow your customer base in your community, start to tap into what people are asking you for. Look at the modifiers and start to add start to make adjustments based on the feedback that you're getting from your regular customers. All right. Secondly, number 2, I only got 3 tips. Number 2, you have to find a way. And this is talking through the pre-open stage, right? The build out, the furnishings, the equipment selections, the fixtures. You have to find a way to keep your costs down. You have to find a way to, on the front end, work as efficiently as you can. Sorry, I got a notification there. You have to be efficient on the front end. Well, at least I would be focused on being efficient on the front end. So I would keep costs down. Number 1, site selection. I'm looking for second gen, something that used to be a pizzeria, something that used to be, a Chinese restaurant, a wing place or something, anything with a hood in a good neighborhood. And the community matters. So I would focus my efforts on finding a second gen location in a great neighborhood, in a great community that's thriving, that is established or growing, but something that's going to, help support your long-term business. I would look for stuff like that. Secondly, equipment. I would establish a relationship with a good equipment dealer, someone I can trust, because equipment is extremely expensive, and a lot like vehicles and used cars, they drop value as soon as you make the purchase. So understanding that I could mix new and used equipment. Now we got this thing like refrigeration. We typically never buy used refrigeration because look, new equipment or used equipment comes with repair, like a repair cost, repair and maintenance. New equipment comes with repair and maintenance costs and warranties. So we, when it comes to buying refrigeration, we're going to buy freezers, we're going to buy pizza tables, we're going to buy a sandwich table, we're going to buy a cooler or something. We're typically going to buy that new. But there are some things that we don't mind buying used when the price is right, and it's, we're talking about prep tables or, racks and stuff like that, things that are non-mechanical, mechanical. I never mind buying used equipment. So I would focus on keeping my cost out, having a good mix of new and used equipment, having a good relationship with an equipment dealer that will say, hey, look, man, take it. My guy Jimmy here in Tampa, I'll buy something, you show him, and he'll say, look, 60 days, see how it goes, see if it works, if it fits, if it works for you, keep it. If it doesn't, bring it back, we'll find you something else. And he's got a ton of stuff on his lot. Look, restaurants close every day. That's the unfortunate side of this business. Restaurants close all the time. So there's always, not always, but it's usually not hard to find equipment. Some of it is gently used, some of it is, torn to shit, but you gotta have a good relationship with somebody who's not gonna try to take advantage of you. We got really lucky. We bought a mixer that came out of a school that had like a culinary program. They bought a nice 60-quart Hobart and barely used it for a couple of years, and we got a great deal on it. So there are things like that out there. So I would spend the time and do the research to find, the best deals with reputable brands from good dealers. And that's typically based on relationships. So I'm finding those relationships, and I'm making sure that, they're taking care of me and I'm taking care of them. And then the last one, I would, if I were planning to open a pizzeria, I would find a way to go work with someone or in someone's shop for a year or more, learning the business, learning how to manage the day-to-day. What are the products that they're using? Just go learn the game. Like, the best way to learn is by doing it. I would go spend some time with someone that is, open and willing to teach you. Go work in the shop. You can start in a quick service situation or a pizzeria and get yourself into a leadership position rather quickly if you have the desire to do so. But you can go learn every position. You can go be a cashier and a pizza guy or a grill guy or a driver, and become a manager and learn all those things in a year, and that sets you up for success because you've seen it from the inside. Go make sure this is what you really want to do before you invest a ton of money. And to me, that's how I got into this, not intentionally, but because I worked in a pizzeria. Me and JR, because we were working for Bob, we worked for Captain Mike. We had the inside view of it, and we just kept saying yes to opportunities. And that's what led me to where I am today, right? Saying yes to opportunities, showing up with a smile on my face, willing to learn new things, willing to fail with a smile and get back up and do it again. That's how we got here. But we're talking 21 years later. But if you want to learn it, go spend some time with somebody who's doing it, somebody that has the style of pizza that you want to do, and you respect how they do what they do. Go work there. Go learn it. And don't be covert. Talk to them. Say, look, I'm thinking about getting into this in the next year or two. I'd love to spend a year with you learning this. I'm still working my job, but I can work part-time. I can do nights. I can do weekends. You could pay me whatever you can afford. If you can afford it, whatever, that's going to be up to you. If you need money or not, or doing it, so you're going to do it, just volunteer work or anything like that. Typically folks want to put you on payroll just for insurance reasons. But go learn it. Go spend some time with some operators that are doing a good job, because that will teach you more than anything you find on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram, even this podcast. Like, yeah, I'm giving you this information, but I'm not in the kitchen. I'm in my house. But if you're next to me in the store, you're going to learn a lot, because you're going to see things and you're going to ask questions, and it's going to be more interactive, and, you get to understand the seasonality. Spend a year, at least a year, so you understand the seasonality of the business where you are, because it's different depending on what part of the country you're in or what part of the world you're in. So you learn how to manage people. You understand, all the different nuances of the business, how the weather plays into it. It's a little bit chilly right now. Our dough process has to be tweaked a little bit because the weather changed. So you only learn that from doing it. And the best way is to go work with or for somebody that's doing a good job. And then, so before I go, I was talking with someone that I'm working with, and, shout out to my guy, Steven in Little Elm, who's opening a pizza near me. And he's really close to getting the shop open. He's going to do this great Neapolitan style pizza out there in North Dallas. But I talked to him, and we've been working together for a few months now. And I talked to him last night, and I asked him, I said, look, what do you know now that you wish you'd known 6 months ago before you started this process? And he said, I wish I'd done my homework on finding a mentor and getting into a mentorship, because it has, it has changed so much from where he was before we started working together to where he is now. Just having somebody that he trusts and he knows, cares about him and cares about his business, that he can, at least just bounce ideas off of, talk through my experience. And I'm not saying, work with me. I'm saying find someone who's doing what you want to do and engage with them and ask questions. And if they got a mentorship program, then, join the program, because that's going to help you. And just like the number one tip, go work with somebody. That's about as close as you can get without coming to work in my shop, is to spend time, in my coaching program and ask the questions, and, jump on the calls, and we can talk through where we are every week. We sit down and we talk about where we are in the process and then what the next steps are. And sometimes it's just encouragement, or sometimes it's real practical advice, or sometimes we're talking through, operational details. So, having a mentor is definitely a game changer. I was fortunate enough to spend, years with my mentor, learning the business from the inside before it was, before things were, opportunities start to come for me. So, but that's my spiel. Thanks again. It's been, 20 something minutes. So I'm going to cut it short. Please reach out to me, Instagram, Pizza King Podcast, or my main page, Tyrell Reed Sr. Ask me any questions. Let me know what you think about this. We'll be back to do more episodes, more of those things, more products, just more ways to engage. So, I appreciate everybody's time. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Peace.